how to know your addiction and how to know how much are you addicted to something. These are the two questions that I'm going to be answering, and I'm going to give you one sentence to as an answer for you to find out the answer for these two questions, and I'm going to explain why, and then I'm going to share something which is a deeper problem behind any addiction. Let's get in. Hey guys, my name is Nandeep and I'm the guy who loves to help you transform your stress into productivity. And when it comes to stress, one of the biggest mild subtle reason is addiction, because you don't know if it's really addiction or not. So that's what I'm going to be answering: how to know if you're addicted to something, whether that be checking your phone quite often, whether it is eating junk food, whether it is tech time, alcohol, smoking, watching porn, or whatever, right? And the second part is how to know how much you're addicted to it. And there is one line answer to that for both the questions, which is just stop doing it. Just try to stop doing it and see how much your mind demands for you to how much it drags you back to the habit. That is the way to know, right? So let's say, now let me give a definition for what is a bad habit. Now, bad habit is anything that damages your physical health, your mental health. It damages your relationships. It damages your work. If it's your work habit, going late and things like that. Bad habits are any habits in any aspect of life that damages all these aspects and stops you from getting to your goals. If you have a goal in life, stops you from progressing as a person in life. So that is what is bad habit. Now let's get back to the main question: how to know if you're addicted to something, and how to know how much are you addicted to something. So like I said, just stop doing it. Just stop it and see how you can deal with it, right? If your mind keeps dragging you back to it, right, it's very hard. You can't be without checking your phone every now and then that means your addiction is bad. If it's like moderate, like once in a week thing, I just have, then that's like kind of better, but still it's on the moderate level. If any habit, that these bad habits that you have, you can just completely stop. You can just replace that with something else that is more productive. Then that is something that's on the track. That means you're on track, but that's pretty rare to find. So my answer is simple: that stop doing it. Because when you stop doing it is when you will realize how much you're addicted to it. And this is when having clear goals in life is an important thing. For example, if you decide that I'm not going to check my phone every morning when I wake up, I'm not going to check my phone, I'm going to track my screen time with my phone. If it's 4.5 hours in a day, then that's going to be bad. And if you try to cut it down, I'm not going to check in the mornings. That is based on your goal that you live, because if you want to wake up early, you want to spend more time in exercising, not check your phone, then that's your goal. But your mind is an expert in giving you, suggestions that, it's important, you need to check that, you need to check this. Then it kind of, even though you've decided not to, it kind of drags you back to the phone. Now, checking phone is just one of the examples here. It can be for smoking, it can be for watching some videos that gives you quick peaks. All these habits are actually something that give you quick peaks. That's some term that I just tell myself, because you see, the nature of us is to enjoy. The nature of the mind is to enjoy. The nature of the mind is to demand different ways of enjoying things. But when you try to put a stop to it, you will realize that it's actually not in your control, and you might be wondering, why should I try to stop it? It is just to not get into the spiral of enjoyment in such a way that you kind of lose your actual purpose. If you have a goal, and if you're not able to do that, it just gets dragged and you're not being productive, you are kind of just distracted. Then that means you're just distracted to these bad habits in each aspect of life that actually, if you see, it might be just taking a little bit of your time, but if you see in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year, it's actually consuming a lot of your time and energy. And what is more important, what is worse, is that it actually kind of makes you give up easily. it kind of just, time passes by and you don't know if you really want to do those things that you had as a dream. But you know what? I'll tell you the actual problem is. Now, from now on, what I'm going to share can actually make you dislike me, but I'm going to say it anyway. I want you to listen to this closely, okay? But the actual problem is not with addiction itself. Whatever addiction that you have, it is not with the actual problem itself. It is with being convinced that it is actually okay to do it. It's like okay to do it. Right? For example, if a person who smokes says that it's okay to smoke. I know an 80-year-old person who is still smoking and is alive. It's okay. See, if you think that is okay, then there is no question of addiction. Or it can be any habit. You can say that this is okay to do it. I mean, a lot of people are doing it. Everybody's doing it. It's common. That's fine. But really think about it. You're not everybody and everybody is not you. I'll take the same example. If a person who is 80 years old and if he's smoking is not the only reason that keeps him till 80 years old. Or let's take the other side of the example. People might say that I know people who don't smoke, but they died. Did you notice how it is all revolved around smoking here? But because when we take the topic of smoking, it's all revolving around smoking. But not smoking is not the only reason that the person died. It could be a lot of things. But the problem is comparing others with you, because your body and your entire makeup is different than the other person's body. In fact, if you think logically, if that person is really 80 years old, then the first half of his life he lived in a time period where there was not much pollution, more natural and organic food. They worked more, they had a lot of physical work. They didn't sit in one place and stare into a screen for a long time. And that kind of builds up certain immunity, and their lungs can take in whatever nicotine that goes into their body. I mean, I'm just trying to give some logic here. But anyway, the point here is that comparing with another person, that doesn't make any sense to me. So that is, see, again, I'm just trying to put out the point that your mind tries to find out reasons to accept that it's okay to do it. Then there is no question of addiction, right? I'll tell you why that happens. That happens because it is hard for your mind to accept that they are addicted, even though mildly addicted. And it is also hard to accept the fact that addiction is bad. Because it is hard to accept these two facts, the mind kind of twists their identity and says that it's okay. It's okay to do whatever it is to do, because it is hard for me to accept, because I'm kind of identified with this habit, whether it's smoking, drinking, or watching your phone or whatever it is. It's kind of okay to do it because I've identified myself with this habit, which kind of relieves me from my stress, which kind of gives me some quick pleasure without considering the long-term effects. They're just giving importance to the short-term benefits. It could be really relieving you from stress. I wouldn't use the word relieving, by the way. I would just use the word covers. It covers the stress that you have. It kind of just pushes it back. I call it, dusting the door under the doormat in the name of cleaning the house. In fact, it does not relieve stress. It doesn't pull out the stress, but it just covers the stress. I believe that it might be, I'm not sure. You can share your thoughts about this in the comment box, but I really think that it does not relieve stress. Whatever you identify yourself with, any kind of these habits that you do in order to relieve yourself from stress is actually not relieving. It just kind of covers the stress temporarily. And when you don't do those habits, then it is uncovered. Then you're put into reality, and when you kind of rest or something, that whatever stress it comes to your mind, and you'll have to find more such habits for you to keep covering the stress and not actually getting down to the root of the problem. So I think that is the biggest problem when it comes to whatever addiction. It kind of, now you see why it gets addicted, because this becomes a habit. It becomes a habit, and every time that you kind of come back from work, if you're stressed and you want to munch something that is good for the tongue but not for your body. You need to watch something that is good for your mind, and whatever news feed that you're seeing, because it kind of quickly raises your dopamine, quick pleasure, but in the long term it's not really a good thing. That is why if you see in the modern world, stress and depression is in the rise. I think this is the reason why. And what is the solution that your mind gives? It gives solutions like, it is okay to do this, it is fine. I mean, if you're a smoker, if you find another person who smokes, your philosophy kind of just twists to that person and then says, it's fine to smoke, right? I mean, like, it's fine to smoke. These people don't understand. They say that smoking is like is the only reason why people get lung cancer and die. Yeah, I know, I understand. It's really fine to smoke. Do you want to come on? Do you want to grab some smoke? What do you smoke? Do you smoke black or do you smoke green? So that is what I mean by twisting your identity, and then you get identified. You make friends with such kind of people, your routine gets affected by that. It's a very subtle thing, and I understand it's not easy. I've had my own habits that I wanted to change. I have my own addictions, and I've kind of really just noted this down, and I can say this confidently that when you try to stop it is when the reality, it'll show you how much you're addicted to it, right? You can make it on a daily basis. On this particular day, I'm going to completely try to stop it. See how much your mind itches for you to get back to whatever habit it is. Okay, so I hope that this has given you some good insight. Let me just give a quick recap here. We just discussed how we can know if you're addicted and how you can know how much you're addicted. And for both these, the answer can be just try to stop doing it and see how much your mind demands for you to get back to that habit. And you can just maybe just scale the addiction from 50 or to 0 to 100 percentage, and you can find out. And also consider the other part. Observe yourself, listen to your mind, try not to do anything, and then just just spend some time alone and sit by yourself, observe your thoughts, see what happens. And I would also encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I keep posting videos on how to transform your stress into productivity. And click that notification button so that you will be notified whenever I post new videos. I try only to post videos that is really useful to you. So I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.